Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I coach people and organizations to play their professional and personal games big. And the title of this video is provocative. You don't need a job description. Huh? So I'm going to acknowledge the obvious. Huh? Yeah, you don't need a job description. There's a great story about Ralph Lauren sitting at a restaurant, noticing someone at the next table, dressed a little bit, dressed stylishly, but in a unique kind of way to him. He noticed her, and as often happens, struck up a conversation with her at the next table. They would chat from time to time, and at the end of the evening, as the parties were leaving, he walked over to her and handed her his business card and said, "If you stop by the office tomorrow, I'd like to hire you." Huh? What was Loren doing here? Loren was scouting talent. He was looking at someone and understanding how they think in the social setting, noticing what was presented to him in the way of style and fashion. And lo and behold, in striking up the conversation, realized that she was someone who would do well with his firm. And rather than procrastinate, excuse my language now, rather than dick around, what he did was hand her a card as he was leaving and say, "If you come into my office tomorrow, I'd like to hire you." And she looked at the card and now realized it was Ralph Lauren and stunned, and he hired her. What's the lesson to this? Number one is there are lots of different ways and lots of different places to meet talented individuals. And there are lots of different attributes that people have that you should be evaluating for in a casual setting and not in this formal sit across the desk kind of setting where they come to your office and they sit opposite the desk and you ask them a whole bunch of canned questions. You're not getting at the real person that way. Now, I want to acknowledge sometimes you're going to make mistakes. You're going to hire people who are not going to work out. Isn't that happening now in this formal setting? Statistics say that 80% of hiring managers a year after they hire someone regret the hire. So I know it's going on now for you, in this formal way. The difference is you get a sense of the human being. And you're not just waiting for a resume to come across your desk. You're looking at the entire universe as a talent pool. And some extremely talented people, some extremely smart people are not getting past your filters because you think that the resume has to say something, or corporate HR believes that the resume has to say something to be justified for you to hire them. Now, I hire accountants. I hire computer programmers. You mean if you met them at a conference and had a conversation with them, you couldn't figure out if they were smart? Of course you could. If you were sitting at a restaurant and overheard the conversation at the next table, as I have many times and struck up a conversation with people, you mean you couldn't evaluate them in a restaurant? Of course you could. At a bar? Of course you could. At a church, synagogue, mosque, in a meditation center? Of course you could. So why aren't you? Why aren't you looking at these extra places as a source for your talent? Why are you only thinking about what's on the resume and how it matches up to a job description? People can be taught certain things that they're missing. And if you start thinking about the difference between time and expense of training someone who's hungry for what you have and someone who you're waiting for their resume to arrive, well, frankly, the time and expense of training someone isn't that great. So open your eyes up to other possibilities. This may not work for you. None of my tips may work for you except for one. This may be it. Here I'm encouraging you to open your eyes up to other possibilities and listen real closely. Listen to what they say and what they don't. And from there, make decisions. Also, one of the other parts of the Loren story that you may overlook is, come to my office tomorrow, I'd like to hire you. You may want to have them come to the office one more time to continue the conversation. I'm thinking of hiring you, maybe the way that you end that part of the conversation. I'm Jeff Altman. I hope you found this helpful. My website is thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot more there that can help you. Also want to mention, if you're trying to hire someone, call me at 646-374-8656 or email me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Love to help you with staffing. Lastly, if we're not connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request to me at linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. Have a great day. Take care.